If you love Italian food and are looking to maybe impress a spouse or some guests, there is nothing in this world that says I love you as much as some homemade risotto. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to make and just how delicious it is. To start off this recipe, we need to small dice a yellow onion. I know this may seem like it's a lot of onions, but I promise they're gonna cook down and it's not gonna seem as much. And you know what? If you don't like onions, just maybe use half of them. But they definitely are a necessity in a classic risotto recipe. Then I'm gonna run about 3 or so garlic cloves through a garlic press just so they're nice and finely minced and easy to incorporate into the risotto. And now what I'm gonna do is head over to my cooktop because I wanna heat up some chicken stock. It is all about the homemade chicken stock, my friends, to help elevate that risotto, take it to that next level. And honestly, that's the way it's supposed to be made. So go ahead and add a huge pot to the cooktop, pour in our homemade chicken stock. We're gonna crank the heat on medium, let it heat up because you don't really wanna pour cold chicken stock right into your risotto while you're trying to mix it. It's gonna take forever to heat up and literally take twice as long for your risotto to cook. Nobody got time for that. So at this point, I'm gonna place a big rondeau pot on another burner. Simply gonna hit it with a bit of olive oil, not too much, maybe a tablespoon or so. Pour in those small diced yellow onions, and on low heat, we're gonna take the time to sort of get a very, very, very light brown on these. We don't wanna go the full caramelization route. I'm trying to show you how to do a classic risotto. This is gonna take about 8 to 10 minutes. You'll see a little crisp brown on those outside edges. The onions will be pretty translucent at this point. I'm just gonna add in the garlic because that's gonna cook pretty quick. They always say once you smell garlic, it's done. So go ahead and stir that into the onion mixture and with the olive oil. And now what I'm gonna do is add in arborio rice. So arborio is a short grain rice, kind of a little short and stubby, so to speak, but it's really good and classically used in a risotto recipe. So what you wanna do is add some of the arborio in with the onions and garlic and give it a little toast. This is just something I learned way back in the day from a great chef. You'll know that it's sort of ready to go and start adding liquid to it. It'll go from bright white to a little bit more translucent, and you might even see a little bit light brown on the rice because of that toast. Really, you're looking at maybe 3 to 4 minutes during this procedure. And then it's time to start adding liquid. It is incredibly traditional and classic to deglaze with a little bit of white wine. It's gonna add a lot of flavor, a lot of body to this really simple risotto recipe. So go ahead and deglaze with about 1 cup. I'm gonna be using some Chardonnay. If you got another dry white wine, fantastic. And now continue to stir it using a wooden spoon. You'll begin to see the liquid start to absorb into the rice while you stir it. That is the point. And let's stop right there. Commies, this one is for you guys. When you think about risotto as a technique, then you can honestly risotto anything. I've risottoed Israeli couscous. I've risottoed orzo, the pasta. I've risottoed wild rice. That same sort of process of slow cooking the grains by adding it a little liquid at a time while stirring, it's gonna do it to just about anything that you wanna cook. It's gonna make it creamy, it's gonna make it delicious. Just an awesome process. And it's these little sort of techniques that can help elevate your cooking game so you can make absolutely any recipe from scratch at home. So now what we're gonna do is add in a ladle of that warm chicken stock at a time while continuing to stir. This process can take anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes on low heat. Once I see that the liquid has been absorbed into the rice, I simply add another ladle full of warm chicken stock while continuing to stir. It is important to stir because the rice can absolutely, I mean absolutely stick to the bottom and the sides of that pan, and then it will soon burn on, scorching your entire risotto. You're gonna be mad at me. So I'm telling you, keep stirring. Even at some point, if you need to switch hands because your arm's getting tired, please do so. It took about 10 cups of chicken stock to 4 cups of arborio rice, so that's a 5-to-2 sort of ratio. Now I can't say that that's gonna be foolproof for you. You have to taste it, you have to try it, you have to make sure that it is good. but it's a good place to start when making risotto. And one thing I do want to say, it's hard to know exactly when risotto is done if you've never made it before. For me, I've probably made risotto close to 200 or 300 times, so I've got a good idea of when it has taken enough liquid and I need to finish it up. For you or for anybody out there, I would suggest tasting it. If it's al dente, slightly crunchy, not a big crunch, but just a little crunch, just like you would with an al dente pasta, that's when you know it's time to finish it up. I'm gonna add in some heavy whipping cream. Give it a stir, you're gonna see it's gonna become this beautiful white risotto. And then really, I just grated in a ton of Parmesan cheese, almost a cup worth. But stir in that Parmesan cheese. Then you wanna finish it with some sea salt, fresh cracked black pepper. And one of the really cool things about risotto is it's really easy to reheat and reconstitute. I obviously have a ton here. Don't worry, I've got plans for it. And what you would do is put it back on the cooktop, keep ladling in warm chicken stock, that same sort of process of mixing with one hand, and it'll be super rich and creamy. The rice will absorb any liquid you throw at it. Risotto is also awesome for the family. Kids love rice, they love risotto. And in Italy, this is eaten as a whole meal. So maybe next time try to add in some vegetables or some chicken or whatever it is so that you've got an entire meal and it's absolutely delicious. So to plate this up, add it to a bowl or a plate. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more fresh grated Parmesan, fresh cracked black pepper, hit it with parsley. I mean, it's just absolutely delicious. And if you love Italian food, you 100% have to check out my homemade pasta carbonara, and I'll catch you on that video.